He's a silk at Nexus Chambers. I know him as the devil incarnate because Michael Mansfield KC had a file that's just come out in the undercover policing inquiry. And the undercover policing file had that as his name on the front of it. Michael, with that introduction, please, can I hand over to you?
How can I how can I follow that? Yes, I was obviously going to mention. I don't want to sound like John Cleese in the shoebox, but it does that devil incarnate description, which was on the file. Just a footnote. It's interesting how the file has suddenly gone missing at the very well, not missing. It's been destroyed, but it illustrates the situation. The file was created in 1976, and Rajiv, it's a message to you from me. You know, I've stood by you in all sorts of situations. We stood together through many inquiries of the same issues that have arisen. And so we're right with you on this. But I wanted to say it's dominated my career. And I think probably no one in this panel or even watching is probably of such an age as I am. I was called in 1967. So I'm just about to reach the 60th year of practice. But a large number of those years, I was conscious of the fact there's probably a file on me. I was conscious of that fact, even though I didn't know until recently that there was such a file, placing me in this incarnate situation. However, what it demonstrates to me is what I was told repeatedly on my call in 1967. I've still got the pamphlet with me in this rather disheveled looking office. A pamphlet which was written by one of the great lawyers of a previous age, but the message was simple. The duty of the advocate was being given to us on the call to the bar. And the duty of the advocate are the words that have been repeated so many times are being fearless and independent. Absolutely important for, as Shami said right at the beginning, if we're going to have a rule of law which is being dismantled as I speak by nations and by governments regularly, is being dismissed, the only people left to defend the rule of law will be lawyers, not politicians. It's going to be those of us who stood up for that from virtually the Second World War onwards with the Court of Human Rights and so on. But I've been aware that I've probably engendered hostility by taking this position of asking unpalatable questions, sometimes to very unpalatable witnesses, but they have to be asked. I'm aware of the unspoken, sometimes in the early days, with the names of judges I'm not going to name, but they are very well known at the time, who were clearly hostile to the position being adopted by myself and a number of others, but there were few at the time. And effectively, what I want to say, Rajiv, is I'm still here. I've done what I felt was necessary for the bar, and absolutely more necessary now. We have a situation in which juries themselves are being cut, not for economic reasons, we know that. Juries are being cut essentially for political reasons, because we're not introducing the politics, the government is. The descent into authoritarianism is being promoted by governments, and now we have a judiciary. It seems to me, well, at least this particular representative of the judiciary who are and colluding with a situation in which the very defenders of the faith, the defenders of the rule of law, are going to feel they can't do it. And it's already happening. The chilling effect, as one judge proclaimed in relation to one of the Palestine cases. So for me, Rajiv, you stand firm, and when you look round, there are going to be thousands behind you. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm going to move on